Avarie Howard here at Lincoln following Tuesday media availability. Well, as everyone knows, this game at Penn State this weekend will be a homecoming for head coach Matt Rhule as he returns to his alma mater. But not just for him, for a handful of his players and coaches, and specifically his defensive coordinator John Butler, who are returning to a place close to home as he grew up in Philadelphia and also coached on this Penn State staff in 2012 and 2013. Today he spoke about those emotions of returning to a place so close to home for him, a place he once coached, but keeping his focus solely on Nebraska.
Pennsylvania is my home, where I grew up. Grew up in a region where Penn State was it. Much like obviously growing up in Nebraska, Nebraska's it. So coaching there was a unbelievable experience, and obviously when we took over, that experience was like none other in my career, having taken over for that time frame with Coach O'Brien, him and his staff, our staff. Obviously, those great players, Mike Mowdy, Jordan Hill, to name a few, that were just the unbelievable leaders to keep that thing afloat for those couple of years before Coach Franklin took over. So when I get there, it's just another game. I've coached in a bunch of cool stadiums and cool venues, but going back there, I'm going to have a bunch of family going to the game, and I'll have my son there flying in for Thanksgiving, so it'll be cool. The experience to go back there and coach there is awesome. And to be around some family and friends, and I even have some friends of mine I grew up with that played at Penn State that still live up there, so I'll see them. But as far as what's going on with them and their program, we're so locked in on all the things that go on with our program and how we're trying to make sure we're playing as well as we can on defense on a day-to-day and week-to-week basis. But
on the topic of defense, Coach Rhule's really looking forward to that this weekend. He said yesterday, NBC night game in a great atmosphere. He's looking forward to people getting to watch his defense fly around, because that's what they'll have to do. Is he made a point to his team in their meeting yesterday saying this is a Penn State offense that threw the ball 13 times and ran the ball 51 times last weekend against Michigan State. He said it's an incredible opportunity for his defense to conquer something they haven't really done this season, and that's stop the run the way they'd like to. Well, today Coach Butler spoke to those comments and said that's the exact mindset we have to embrace, because we know exactly what Penn State is going to throw at us.
We have two great backs, big physical tight ends, and a mentality of that region and that program to run the football. So it's going to be a great challenge for us, an opportunity. I know that one of the number 13 has a chance to break the record up there, and we've got to do everything we can to make sure he does it against another team. But they're going to run the football. You can see that the identity of what they've been doing of late is establish the run, control the game, be a physical team, and we've got to match that with how we prepare day to day, and then we go up there, we have to understand that's the type of game it's going to be. We're a good football team and a good defense. There's a lot of things that it's low-hanging fruit right now to say that we're struggling to stop the run, but we're one of the best pass defenses in the country, one of the best teams of not letting people in the red zone. We don't give up explosive plays. There's a lot of things that we're doing. We haven't given up a 400-yard rusher. We haven't let a team score on us in the first drive of the game. So there's some things that we're doing well, but obviously in a game like this, we know and understand that it's going to come down to our players embracing that they're going to try to run the football, and we have to stop the run. And that means by any means necessary.
Moving over to the offense, we heard from offensive coordinator Holgorsen, who was asked about TJ Latif's first collegiate start at UCLA. And to that he said, wow, we stopped talking about that game 10 days ago. But he did share what impressed him the most about his poise, especially in front of a hometown crowd, his commitment to the game plan and the execution, but also how much confidence he thinks that game instilled not only in TJ, but in this team as they now turn their attention to a big-time game at Penn State.
Played, really good first time out, which we expected him to. I mean, there's a lot of confidence, in the coaches with him. We talked about that, and then he went out there and proved it. I think the coolest thing that, him handling going back home was awesome. Okay, now that was his element too. The weather and Southern Cal is kind of his element right there, and he felt good in pregame, and we even kind of kidded around about that, just as far as, the ball was kind of sticky, and he was spinning it pretty good, and he played well. From an offense, it was probably our most efficient game. If you just look at all the stuff that matters that we always talk about, I mean, those numbers were pretty good, from yards per play to critical downs to red zone touchdowns, just all that stuff that it takes to win games. So he was fired up though. I mean, he right before his first drive, he came to me. He goes, I got you, and I got this, coach. He goes, just call it like you normally would, and I did. I called it like I normally would, and he went out there and executed at a very high level. So I think he got confidence from that. I think the team got confidence in it. I think Coach Rule did an amazing job of getting the guys to understand what it takes when you're playing a freshman quarterback, first start. Everybody needs to elevate their game, and that's what I saw. I mean, I saw a bunch of guys that elevated their game, and hopefully that can carry on into this week.
Next, we heard from offensive lineman Rocco Spindler, who actually played this Penn State program this year. Back in January when he was with Notre Dame, they played Penn State in the College Football Playoff. So today he shared a little bit of what he expects to see from this Penn State team and how he's treated.
Yeah, there's a lot of energy. It's going to be loud. Defense is going to give you a bunch of different looks, maybe on second and third down. Usually after they're explosive, they'll try to, heat you up with some blitzes. But, they play hard. They're running the ball. It's going to be a full 60-minute game.
We'll stick to the offense because the moment Emmett Johnson hit that Heisman pose at UCLA, that was the official start of his Heisman campaign and the topic of the bye week. Well, yesterday we heard Coach Rule speak about how well Emmett has handled this spotlight and how humble he is in all of it, always giving credit to everyone else. Well, if you want to know how true that statement is, here's what his teammates had to say about Emmett's season so far and his Heisman Trophy campaign.
It's been amazing for him to get that, because I remember freshman year, like, he'd just be saying, we were in the dorms, like, if they just give me a chance, man, I'm gonna go crazy. And I mean, he's been going crazy. That's what we call him, eat crazy sometimes. And all the accolades, he deserves it all. And I hope we're invited to New York with him when he's a Heisman finalist.
Proud of Emmett, man. Like, I remember last year just having conversations with him, like, about, how the season had been going and, how he viewed his future and stuff like that. But I think, his success is really just a product of who he is as a person, how he treats people, and the work that he puts in. He works super hard, but at the same time, like, he's a great teammate. And I think that because of that, he's been blessed to continue to play well and show his talents. And yeah, I mean, Emmett's just a great dude, man. I'm excited. And, it's been cool to see how well he's been doing, because, like, I remember even, like, in the spring, like, he had a list of, like, the top running backs, and, like, I don't think his name was on there. You know what I'm saying? So, like, he was looking at that all the time, and it, it's paid off.
We did hear from Emmett Johnson today, who did share how exciting and special these last 2 weeks have been for him. But he also shares he remembers where he was not too long ago and why that keeps him motivated through it all.
There, but it's not just me. Like I said, there's a lot of people that play a part in that. My teammates that have helped me get to that point. So it's been amazing. It's been pretty fun. There's been a lot of positivity, but I just want to stay focused, stay humble, just stay focused on what I got to do, and that's help this team win, not make it all about me. Remember when I wasn't, in the spotlight or wasn't getting the love. So those are things that just keep me motivated to stay hungry.
To close things out, we heard from Ceyair Wright, who shared pretty bluntly what the mindset and the focus is for this group this weekend and why they know and how important it is to keep all attention on Nebraska and Nebraska alone.
When you start to think about things that aren't truly important, it allows you to, get lackadaisical in what is important. If I start thinking about, like, where I'm playing at, or, like, how loud it's going to be, or, like, this person used to coach there, this person used to play there, it makes it so that, I can stop thinking about my job and what I'm going to do when I see this formation, what I'm going to do when I see this motion. You know what I'm saying? So I think that by keeping the focus on us, it not only allows you to be, diligent in executing your assignment, but it also keeps you locked in on, the attitude that you have to play when you show up to the game.